Hi, I'm Mars Girl.
I'm Josh Knight the First.
And welcome to episode 37 of MokkoriPlay, the only podcast dedicated solely to all things City Hunter.
On today's podcast, we're going to cover episode 37 of City Hunter, titled Shinjuku Honor All the Way. The Kimono Beauty Wants to Be My Student, Part 1.
We got a two-parter.
Yeah.
There's not that many of them in Season 1, so we gotta enjoy them when they show up, because you won't enjoy them as much anymore when they show up in Season 2 all the time.
All the time. Every week. Just about every week.
Almost every week. It's a little unreasonable.
It's a little uneven is what I'd call it. But right now, we don't have to worry about Season 2's problems. We're here in Season 1, and this is a pretty full episode.
It's a full episode because it's not all contained in one episode. It needs 2 episodes.
And it feels like the action goes all the way up right to the end. Like, the pacing is non-stop this week.
That's very true. Also, Yakuza and a Yakuza princess.
Yes.
Again, because that's a very common theme in this show.
Even more so next season, but here, these two-parters, this one in particular, we've got a confirmed Yakuza princess. Hey, who here likes Yakuza princesses?
Because we got one!
So yeah, we gotta jump right into it because we got a lot of story to cover. So we start off with a party at a bar.
It's a bar deep in Shinjuku, we are to assume. It certainly looks like it. Later on, we see some of the landscape around the area of the bar, so it just kind of looks like one of these busy alleyways that has a lot of snack joints and bars and stuff like that on that particular street.
Yeah, not that far away from Kabukicho.
Probably in Kabukicho, if I'm to be honest. Just somewhere way deep down in the back.
In the back and to the right. If you're looking
back and to the right.
Back and to the right if you're looking at it from the default position in Google Earth. I know because we've done a lot of this for other reasons related to video games.
I'm not sure I believe you.
I can show you. I've done the work.
Okay.
So yes, the bar here that everybody's showing up at is called Otora, named after the owner, Mrs. Otora. We find out that her husband passed away, and that through a lot of pulling together through all of the patrons who love the bar that has been around for something close to 30 years, I think they say, they're all there to help support her and make sure that the bar stays afloat.
They love that old lady.
They love the old lady, they love their old haunt, they love hanging out there and having drinks with everybody, so everybody's having a party right now.
Until, no, they're not anymore, and a bulldozer comes straight through the front door.
And as you would figure, it's right when Mrs. Otora is saying, "Oh my god, I appreciate you so much. I love having all of your support. I'm never gonna close." Yeah. And there goes the wall.
Oops. Meanwhile, at the same time, there's a young lady walking around like, "Oh, I haven't been out here in 5 years, and there's only one place in town that still hasn't changed. There's like a shrine or something that still hasn't changed."
So let's go ahead and describe this young woman here. So visually, she absolutely strikes me as the spitting image of Sailor Jupiter.
She looks like Sailor Jupiter in the hair. She looks like Sumire.
Sumire, yeah, I was about to say that.
It's the purple. It's the purple kimono that makes her look like Sumire.
Like, if you can imagine Sailor Jupiter wearing a purple kimono, this is who we're saying is our main character for the week.
Exactly, and she speaks pretty well-to-do for the most part.
Somewhat antiquated speech pattern, yeah. Very proper.
She's been out of town for a while, and that's just the kind of speech she's picked up at some point.
Yeah, so we'll cover more reason as to why she speaks the way she does. So yes, right, as you said, she's noticing only one place has stayed the same, everything else has changed, but she hears the commotion off in the distance and goes a-running, but she's a little late to help out because Footsteps has already started playing. And
Ryo's already there.
Ryo, as we find out, also likes frequenting this place.
And he's brought Kaori with him, in fact. So they were just...
Look, that's not the important part. The important part is he was bringing cake.
He and Kaori were going to a bar together, Josh.
I did want to touch on that here. There's not a lot that we see Kaori and Ryo doing. I don't want to say as a couple, but out together. Like, it's very rare when they're animated doing regular stuff. Like, every so often you'll see them shopping, or rather, Kaori walking and Ryo carrying the bags.
She has dragged him along, right.
But it's only within the last couple of weeks that we started seeing, they're starting to share drinks together, they're starting to comment on how much they trust each other, and here they're going to the celebration of this bar together,
and they've together brought cake.
Yeah, which I think says something because this is some backstory that we weren't given of like, okay, where is their relationship or their friendship or whatever you want to call it right now, to where they're both cool going to a specific place. Because you imagine, Ryo likes going to the hostess clubs.
Surely Kaori does not enjoy doing that.
Right, but you would think at a certain point Ryo would realize, hey, you know, maybe if I am going to strengthen this partnership with Kaori, I should probably hang out with her somewhere that isn't a titty bar.
Yeah, a regular bar will be fine.
Yeah, so just a normal-ass place, knock a few back, have some laughs, play some darts, that kind of place. And this seems to be that place.
Well, not anymore now that there's a bulldozer in the wall.
Yeah, that's why we need Ryo here.
Anyway,
yeah, so Ryo starts kicking ass and taking names.
And he does that for a while, but then that young lady in the kimono shows up, and she just kind of finishes the job. She does so little.
Right, so what happens is there's a guy, the guy actually on the steamroller that has knocked the wall down, and he's like, I don't know who that guy is in the blue jacket, but I'm gonna run him over. And she's like, no, you will not. And she just kind of, bonks him on the head?
She takes out, it's not really a sword, huh? It's just a long knife. Right?
Well, it's the ceremonial knife that you usually see the Yakuza carrying around, the short knife.
And she doesn't even actually draw it. She just takes the whole thing out and uses the sheath and bonks him on the head. And he runs away like, oh, that was enough for me. Like, this is how cowardly these dudes are. If you push back even a little bit, they're like, oh, we didn't expect that. And then they leave.
Well, it's like so many videos that I've seen on like World Star, right? Where a bunch of punks step to somebody that they don't realize is like a trained boxer.
Yeah.
Like those are some of the best ones.
But this lady, like, you know, it's great that she can jump in and just hit somebody, but it still really wasn't a lot. It certainly wasn't what Ryo was capable of.
Well, no, it's just the good thing that she had Ryo's back, not knowing what the situation was entirely.
That's
just knowing there was something dishonorable about this guy attacking from the back when Ryo wasn't looking.
Right.
So Ryo thanks her for jumping in, but then he follows that up with a comment that isn't necessarily needed right here of, well, I really do appreciate you jumping in, but just so you know, if you're going to wear a kimono, wear them without panties because it ruins the curves. Which, of course, gets a hit from Kaori with the hammer. He's like, what? I was trying to teach her about Japanese culture. I didn't mean it.
Yeah, you did. Like, who's gonna comment on somebody's panty lines like that? What the fuck, man?
Yeah, that's insensitive. You don't know who this woman is. She just helped your ass out, and then you want to talk about, hey, take them off. Come on now. So anyway, now that they have solved the problem, it's time to go in and see if that cake is still edible.
Ryo gives old lady the cake. The cake is fine. I mean, it's beaten up a little bit, but it doesn't taste any different.
It's just a little smushed. It's still good. It's still good.
Still tastes fine. This reminds me, I had to get cat food from the store the other day, and the lady at the counter, she dropped a bunch of the cans, and she's like, oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm like, it's fine. The cats are going to eat it no matter how the can looks. And she just was so relieved. Because it's true. What do these cats care about what the can looks like? They're just gonna eat it.
And mind you, most of these people have already had a few at this bar. The cake is going to taste great no matter what.
That's true. There even enough cake to go around? I thought Ryo was just giving it to this lady.
Yeah, it's enough for her and probably enough for Kaori and Ryo to get a bite.
Oh, if you're bringing the gift, you're not gonna eat off of the gift yourself that you gave to somebody.
Not initially. But sometimes when you give, a gift of food, sometimes you're like, oh my god, that's so good. Do you want a bite? That happens.
Yeah, well, they have to wait.
Yeah, you gotta wait.
And we don't see that happen.
We don't see that happen, so I can only assume.
I'm not gonna assume.
You would just eat the cake straight.
Well, not if I'm giving it as a gift, no.
No, I'm saying if you received the cake.
Yeah, I'm not sharing that with the people who gave it to me. It's my cake. It's a gift.
I know you.
They gifted me that cake. Like, unless there's way too much cake, it did not look like there was way too much cake to me. It looked like a very small portion of cake.
Well, that's the thing. I see you see this in a lot of other anime. When somebody buys, like, a gift cake, the really small one, stereotypical strawberry on top.
Yeah.
Like, those things are tiny. Those are, like, what, 6 by 6 inches at best?
Something like that, and they're too expensive.
They are too expensive. Public service announcement from us here at MokkoriPlay, don't spend too much on cake.
Yeah, sheet cake all the way, man.
Yeah, sheet cake is fine. Get some of that dollar store punch to wash it down with. It's fine. But anyway, we're getting sidetracked here. So the young woman introduces herself as being from the Kanto region, and her name is Kikunosuke Fubuki, who we'll just refer to as Kikunosuke for the rest of the episode.
I just want to also point out here, as everyone's kind of going around the room introducing themselves in this moment, she is the only one that the subtitles retained that she kept her name in Japanese order of family name first, given name last, and then the rest of the subtitles put it into traditional Western order of given name first, family name last.
Right, because as you're hearing the episode, you're going to hear Saiba Ryo Makimura Kaori, but the subtitles will say Ryo Saiba Kaori Makimura.
Right, exactly. So I just thought that was interesting because they just kind of punched in this extra layer in the subtitles of her being more traditional than everybody else by leaving her name in traditional Japanese order, even though everybody in the room is technically doing that.
Right, but it's just an interesting thing that they kept there for a viewing audience over here reading it.
Right, exactly.
So after all the introductions have been made, they decide to postulate, okay, well, who exactly could have done this? And they're like, oh, this could have only been the work of the Hanafubuki group, which is another Yakuza group there in the city.
And of course, Kikunosuke's over here like, oh, really? How about that? It's not like my name has Fubuki in it.
Like, if you can at least pick up on that, like, I remember the first time we watched this episode, and I'm like, hey, that's part of her name, too.
What a coincidence, huh? How about that?
Well, what do you know about that?
What do you know about that? I'm sorry. Like, it's such an out-of-place quote that I always do. I have a tendency to quote from It's a Wonderful Life under all of the wrong circumstances. That was one of them.
It's okay. I forgive you, and I accept you.
I know, thank you.
So yes, the Hanafubuki group is a Yakuza group there in Shinjuku, and Ryo comments on that of like, oh, the Hanafubuki group, huh? You'd think the Yakuza would know something about honor, to which Kikunosuke remarks, oh, so Mr. Saiba, are you a man of the Code of Honor?
If you know what the Code of Honor is, then surely you are a man of the Code of Honor. And Ryo's just kind of like, well, not exactly. It's okay. It's okay. I want you to be my teacher. And he's like, yes, but no. But yes, but no. Can I touch your butt?
I'm gonna touch your butt. And everybody's just... I appreciate right here, it's not the immediate hit. It's everybody staring at him like, what the hell are you doing?
It was a little upsetting, actually, that they did all just stare and nobody was like, we need to stop this man. He's assaulting this woman. And instead they're just looking at him like, oh, fucking weirdo. Oh my god.
Yeah, but it's so painted on their face. Like, this is the first time there's more public shaming, I think.
That's true.
Beyond Cowdy just punishing him straight out.
It actually did. It took a while, but it did make him stop like, oh, everybody's looking at me. I guess I gotta cut this shit out.
And he does.
Yeah.
Like, he does grope her, unfortunately, for a few seconds there, and then once he notices, oh, I'm getting stared at by, like, everybody. Alright, I gotta clean this up. Alright, fine. I'm sorry, young maiden. I do not accept students.
No,
and she's like, okay, wait, what? You're not gonna fight for it harder?
Well,
no.
Well, not today anyway. I'll come back with like what, a gift or something to try.
Very
and win
properly though. Yeah.
Yeah. So she has given up just for the day, and Ryo just feels bad that he has sent her away, even though she's gonna come back. Like, she's already said, well, I'll be back.
Yeah, she's saying, I will make sure that you take me on as a student. Just give me a little bit. So next day rolls around, and we see the guy who is driving the bulldozer at the beginning of the episode, and he's listening to the pony races on the radio, and looks like his horses came in, and he seems to have won what we assume is about $300.
Well, yeah, because he's saying he's got tickets worth like 10,000 yen.
Which is equivalent to $100 each.
Ish. I mean, the yen is in the hole right now pretty bad. So it's not quite that much money anymore. But he was holding on to at least 3 tickets.
That we could see animated in his hand.
Yeah.
So he's like, alright, I got all this money off these tickets. And then Kikunosuke shows up and she's like, yoink, this is for breaking the wall last night.
Gonna use this to rebuild the place. And the guy is like, oh no, you're not. Whoop, 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 and runs away.
Yeah, and he hauls ass and Kikunosuke gives chase. He ducks down this alley and goes behind a wall, and he's just there waiting with his own gun to get the drop on her. And Kikunosuke's just taking her sweet ass time going down this alley, and she's almost right on top of him. And then thankfully, Ryo gets the drop on that guy. And he's like, oh hey, I was in the neighborhood. Found this guy. He's an ass. Now, to this guy's credit, and again, other people have figured this out over time, he knew the perfect way to get out of City Hunter's clutches, which is to point off down the alley and say, hey, there's a woman in a bikini down that way.
He actually looks like the idiot he is. Dude, what, pushes, kicks him out of the way?
And then he goes falling on top of Kikunosuke, and dude books it.
So good job, Ryo. You let that one get get away from you.
And so Kikunosuke gets up and she's trying to give chase, and Ryo's like holding the bottom of her kimono, being like, no, don't do that. That's not a good idea right now. She's initially against that, like, why? Why aren't we not giving chase? And then it comes to her, and only her, oh my god, Mr. Ryo, you're the paragon of honor. That man has a mother. She would be very upset if I hurt him. You are so wise.
If we turned him in, it would bring great shame. What are you talking about, miss?
You just made up this whole narrative in your own head, alright? This is not the guy you think he is.
Although Ryo kinda goes along with it.
He's just kind of like, you got a lot to learn, alright? Like, this, I appreciate it. You got the spirit. You're a little confused, but you got the spirit.
Right.
But, you need to chill out a little bit. And when she heard chill out, she took that to mean, okay, then I'm just gonna shadow you from now on.
And Ryo's like, sounds good to me. That means you're gonna be with me everywhere.
In bed, in the bath, all that. And then he goes jumping at her Lupin style.
To which she finally kind of stands up for herself, grabs a nearby trash can lid, and protects herself from him, like it's a damn shield.
Which you need against Ryo, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so now she's walking behind him with a parasol, and, she's looking very proper, like, straight out of a samurai movie, and everybody on the sidewalk is just looking at him like, are we watching Punk'd? Is this a TV bit? What's going on here? Is he an actor?
Is he an actor? That's a weird thing to think about, that they would just look at a person in a kimono and immediately assume we are in such a modern time and age and place that we just don't see people in kimono anymore, which I think is really interesting, because just a few miles away in Asakusa, you would just see people in kimonos, and it's like, it's not weird. Some people just wear kimonos.
Yeah, but if I remember correctly from doing some research from one of the other episodes, that area, Kabukicho and specifically Shinjuku, was a very metropolitan area there in the 80s. So
the 80s boom of Japan, it was just so hyper modern.
Yeah, when we're doing research, again, completely unrelated, but, talking about the Yakuza games that existed in this time period, specifically Yakuza 0, we were looking up a lot of what the trends in the fashion were like around people going to the discos at the time. Mm-hmm. And they were all super modern, loved being on the cutting edge of fashion and things like that.
Even tech, too. Tech was booming, this was a period of time where the world was almost concerned that Japan was going to overtake everyone.
Right, exactly. So, in that sense, it does look out of place when this area has become so modern so quickly that somebody's there in traditional garb.
That's true.
So now we head over to the headquarters for the Hanafubuki, and their boss, who goes by the name of Kito, is there like, hey, I told you guys to mess up that bar. What's going on? They're like, sorry, boss. We had a problem with this weird girl out of a samurai movie and this weird guy. They messed us up.
Well, cut that out.
And yeah, he just kind of mob bosses it like, that sounds bad. You know what to do. Go take care of it. Yeah.
This is the total wrong accent for the total wrong kind of crime family.
And this guy, he's also kind of stereotypical from other Yakuza-related media we've seen, because a lot of those movies and subsequently those games focus on the clash of ideals between new school and old school. New school always trying to bring in, let's be more modern, let's be a little bit more ruthless, and the old school adhering to some kind of a code of honor.
The Yakuza, that's the thing about them, is that they genuinely believe that they have a code of honor, but they don't. They just lie to themselves. Like, this has been well documented that they think of themselves as some kind of modern day samurai that they just are not.
Being more chivalrous than they think. Very chivalrous in their own eyes.
Yes, exactly.
Which isn't the case. It's very much a pick and choose sort of thing.
Right.
So meanwhile, Ryo's been running his ass off trying to get away from Kikunosuke because she is literally sticking to him like glue. He gets around the corner to one of these areas where, if I didn't know any better, the background looks like one of these places that gets reused a lot in Kamen Rider filming for monster fights and things like that. But I'm not 100% positive. It just looks really close. This kind of outdoor seating area.
Okay.
And as he's out there, he sees a beautiful set of legs that he just has to go up and talk to. Oh, there's a woman attached to them.
Yeah, this seems totally out of place for the pacing of the episode, at least at this moment in time. He just sees some random woman sitting there, and he's like, well, I'm gonna ask her out on a date just because I'm looking at her. And actually, she says yes initially.
Yeah, she's down with it. Like, his game, like, he had good game. Like, I'm sorry, miss, your beauty was so entrancing, I couldn't help but not speak because I was so taken aback. Would you like to go and do something?
Actually, yeah, that doesn't sound half bad. Yeah, let's go have some tea. But then Kikunosuke is there. And, like, the whole wrong idea comes up between both of these women, is that the woman that is about to go out and have tea with Ryo thinks, oh, well, he's already got a woman who's here who's pissed at him. And Kikunosuke is just like, what is this? I'm your student.
And I said I was going to protect you from evil women. And so she must perceive this woman that he literally just met 5 seconds ago as evil.
And so this woman, of course, is like, you know what? I'm good. I'm gonna go have tea by myself. Bye. Of course.
Like, clearly. The one time Ryo's game is strong, and he's not being a perv inherently. Like, of course, he was attracted to her physically first, but then he stepped to her with proper game, and it worked, and that's when somebody has to go and mess it up.
Yeah.
Like, that's the one time I'll give it to him.
Yeah.
Now, while Ryo's out here trying to duck Kikunosuke, Kaori's actually being a good person and helping all of the other denizens of the bar rebuild the bar.
Well, somebody's got to. Also, Kaori needs to be given something to do. The animators have to remember she's there.
And I do want to bring up, so right now in this scene, she's wearing the good jacket, but earlier in the show, she was wearing this nice modern white jacket.
I like that one, actually.
Yeah, I don't think we hardly see her in that one again.
No, it's not one that I recognize readily.
Yeah, but it was very chic.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, Kaori is a snappy dresser.
She can be when she wants to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mind you, they were going out to the bar that night. She had to look nice.
You know, I didn't even think about that. She dressed up a little bit for herself.
Just a little bitty bit.
Something to think about.
Yeah.
But right now, you know, she's working, so she's in the costume we see her in very often. And of course, as everybody's celebrating, yeah, we're all happy, we're here, we're rebuilding the bar, we're just repaying you, Miss Otora, we love this bar, we love you, we're all happy right now. That's when the thugs show up like,
I'm gonna get you, ma'am.
I mean, that's basically what they say.
And then they got her.
Yeah, so they make off with her. Meanwhile, Ryo is still trying to figure out what the hell is wrong with Kikunosuke.
So he's gotta have a conversation with her.
Yeah, we gotta have a talk now. So Kikunosuke's still begging him, look, why won't you take me as a disciple? I'm asking you, take me as your disciple. No. Take me as your disciple. No. Take me as your disciple. No.
Why do you want to be my disciple? Why do you care about this code? And I just thought, like, they're bringing up code over and over and over again, and I'm realizing I'm hearing the word because they just keep using it, which is ninkyo?
Yeah, so every time they say code on screen, the word in Japanese is ninkyo.
Which they say a lot. They say ninkyo so much. It almost starts to get old. The definition just straight off of gshow.org is just like chivalry, chivalrous spirit, helping the weak and fighting the strong. So that sounds like a code. But also, it is a word meaning Yakuza, which, if I am not mistaken, this is a word that the Yakuza will call themselves because, as I said earlier, they think so much more of themselves than they actually are.
Well, yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, wasn't there a group there called the Ninkyo Consortium?
Hold on. I'm gonna find that. I'll find that out. Oh, that's Nikkyo Consortium.
Oh, no. So I was close.
So it's not the same thing. That is not the same thing.
Okay, so I was off by like one syllable.
Yeah, not the same thing.
I was close.
You were close.
But yeah, they use this word basically as that kind of... I don't want to say it that way, but I can't think of a better way of saying it. This way of gaslighting themselves into thinking they're better than what they are.
It's more like propaganda.
Yeah, that's a better way of phrasing it.
Yeah, propaganda into making you think, oh, the Yakuza aren't that bad.
Yeah, so that's what she means when she says code. Now, to explain why she has that code, so she very much says that she takes after her father, who has always been a very righteous and honorable man. And 5 years ago, when she was 13, so that makes her 18 now, she was taken off by her uncle to go train in the Kanto region in this code of honor, and her father, as of late, you know, he's not so healthy as he used to be, you know, people get old, and her idea is she wants to successfully be his successor, and to do that, she needs to be the living embodiment of this code of honor.
Ryo thinks pretty highly of that. It sounds pretty good.
He's not 100% certain of her resolve, though. Like, he asks her, is this really the path you want in life? And she's like, yeah, absolutely, 100%. No wavering. He's like, all right, I'll take you on as a disciple, but under one condition. I want you to show me this code. And I mean, show me that this code works in a world where good and evil can sometimes be the same thing, or where yesterday's hero is viewed as today's villain. Show me that your code means something today, which is a pretty tall order.
Right.
Because admittedly, Ryo is the living embodiment, as far as the series goes, of anti-hero, in as far as he's not a completely 100% Captain America White Knight kind of hero. He's got flaws.
He does the right thing when it really comes down to it, but also he's a dude full of vices.
Yeah.
He loves the drink and he loves the women.
And he's killed people.
And he's a murderer, but he only murders the bad people.
Yeah, but see, that's the kind of thing, that's the difference between the Punisher and Batman, for example. That line you won't cross. Ryo has crossed that line multiple times.
Yeah, we just sometimes try to forget that he has done that. Now the manga does not forget about that.
No, the manga wants you to see how big that explosion was, or how bloody he got.
I need to come back and talk about the manga at some other point in time. Sometime in the future, because it is so much more graphic than the anime is. It is actually kind of shocking how nerfed Ryo is in the anime.
By comparison.
It's kind of wild.
Which is our reminder to you for this week. Go check out the manga.
Yeah, it's on that Comics app. It's a Japanese app, but they've got that one tab in the app that's for like 6 different manga that have been translated into English, and City Hunter is one of them.
Yeah, so go check it out.
Yeah.
Now, after Ryo has had this talk with Kikunosuke about, all right, show me your code of justice, then Cowdy comes running up the road. Ryo! Get over here!
The old lady! They got her! They snatched her up! They done did her!
They didn't do her. She's still alive.
Yeah, she's alive.
She's been
fine.
tooken.
She got the took, and they got her tooken, and they got her in a room, and they're like, all right, now sign this paper. This place belongs to me now. Sign it.
No.
Sign it.
No.
Sign it.
No.
All right, we gotta start threatening you.
All right. And we're going to threaten you by all laughing. So, like, the boss there, Kito, is like, all right, if you're not going to sign, there's things we can do to make you sign. And then everybody in the room, all of the thugs start kind of laughing in unison.
Yeah, we were just like...
Because it's the way their faces are drawn. It's this very smirky, copy-paste smirk on everybody's face. It was just, yeah, this kind of... It's kind of funny.
Yeah, they're just all in on this joke of what it is that they're gonna do to this lady. They just haven't said it out loud.
And then thankfully Ryo shows up because apparently he knew where the Hanafubuki headquarter building was.
I'm going to assume that Ryo actually has pinned the location of every crime family in the city.
That, I actually do believe that, because as City Hunter, as somebody steeped in the underworld of Shinjuku, he would need to know that information.
Right.
So yeah, he just steps in the front door, and Kito, the boss there, is like, hey, how'd you get in? I thought we had guards. And he's
yeah, about those guards. And you kind of take a look at the room behind him, and they're just all over the floor. They're all knocked out. We didn't even see the altercation, to which that should lead you to believe they weren't even worth our time. They were that weak.
Right, that's exactly the thing I was saying a couple of weeks ago, where we didn't even need to see Ryo walking up on them if they're that weak. Just cut to this shot, and I'm glad that's what they did this week.
Right.
So after we've confirmed Ryo has kicked all of the guards to sleep, it's time to kick the guards in the room to sleep. So he kicks one guy, punches the other guy.
It's pretty cool.
And then Kito pulls a gun on old lady Otora, which is not cool.
Okay, like, finally we've crossed this line of, alright, you were just trying to get her to sign some paperwork, and now there's a gun. Come on, man, that's not really necessary. She's just some old lady.
And he's like, I don't care. I want that land. What you gonna do about it? Well, Ryo's not gonna do crap, but Kikunosuke, on the other hand, has gone to go rent some construction equipment.
She comes barging in through the wall, kind of this nice poetic justice that is equivalent to what they did at the beginning of the episode to this bar. Just driving this, not
it's a crane.
Yeah, it looks like a crane. Drives a whole ass crane through this wall, really wrecking the joint.
And it's the way she announces herself. She comes running up the crane, anime style, and she announces herself like, Kikunosuke is here, but it's the way she says it, the word she chooses to use in Japanese, which wasn't something I figured she would use rudely, like asanjo, which you hear like a lot of ninja use. This is an even more, you said it was a more rude version?
Yeah, Sui-san.
So she says, Kikunosuke Sui-san.
Which is paying an unannounced visit, or it's also rudeness. So you're just straight up saying, I am doing this even though I am aware that it is a rude thing to do.
Yeah, I'm barging in, I'm crashing the party, literally, and I'm up in this bitch.
Yeah.
And so Kito is taken aback by this, and he's up against the wall, and Kikunosuke does not hesitate. She pulls that knife, like, what do you got there in your hand?
A knife!
No! And she's going in for the kill.
Yeah, she is actually unsheathed it this time.
And she's running full speed.
Ryo is like, well, I don't want you to actually do any of the killing. That's what I'm here for. And like, he's really concerned that she's actually gonna do it.
And thankfully, at the last possible second, you hear this booming voice that's like, enough of this. And everybody's like, what the hell? And there's this old dude, this big buff old dude standing in the door.
And it's the patriarch of the family.
Who happens to be named Danjuro Fubuki. So pick up on that. Name's Fubuki. Kikunosuke's last name is Fubuki.
It takes everybody in the room way too long to figure this out. Well, why do we have to stop? What's she to you? She's kind of my daughter. Oh, crap.
So to put that in perspective, this whole organization, the Hana Fubuki, has a family named Fubuki as the patriarchs of the family. And the daddy Fubuki had a daughter Fubuki who is Kikunosuke Fubuki.
She's a Yakuza princess.
She is the Yakuza princess. That's a lot of words to say she's a Yakuza princess. She's a YP.
I'm not going to abbreviate Yakuza princess to YP. That's not a thing I am going to do.
Okay, well, we gotta come up with some quicker way of saying
What
it.
are you talking about? Yakuza princess is perfect because they're not even really technically princesses, but it's, you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
It's a great phrase. It's a great term, Yakuza princess.
Yeah, but
it's
at the same
incredible.
time, it sounds like one of those direct-to-DVD movies you find in the $5 bin at Walmart.
Yes! I don't understand why you're considering this to be a problem.
All right, we can keep Yakuza Princess. So Daddy Fubuki shows up. All right, I'm not going to say Daddy, I take it back. Danjuro shows up and dresses down Kito like, you tried to hurt my daughter and the bar I like? You tried to do all this stuff and go against the code?
Well, I'm going to punish you later, but just get out of here because I don't even want to look at you. We'll have this discussion later, and he and everybody else leaves the room. They just run away scared because they're like, well, shit, we really fucked up. Bye.
And so now everything has basically settled. This is normally where the episode would end. Like, okay, let's wrap things up. But we have the stinger here of Mr. Fubuki asking Ryo, you know what? You might be a good influence on my daughter. I do want you to take her on as a disciple.
And Ryo is still very much like, that's not a thing I want to do. Can I just leave? And they're both just kind of like, no. But he leaves, he runs, and she's chasing him like, yay, I'm gonna be a disciple, yay! And that's where this episode ends, and it feels very rounded off, like, we've told the story, okay, great.
Yeah, because normally you could hear something like that of like, oh, take me on as a disciple, no way! And then that's the freeze frame, that's Get Wild playing.
And that is in fact what happens, so yeah, it feels like, wow, we've really wrapped up this, we've solved everything, I'm assuming nobody's gonna try and take this bar anymore, that's great. But, the song has played, the credits have rolled, and then we got the preview for the next episode, and we're still with Kikunosuke, who is now a disciple in this next episode, in part 2.
So they've decided for once to go ahead and continue, well, what would actually happen if somebody tried to make good on the thing they said at the end of the episode. Like, imagine how much longer the series would be if literally everybody who said they would come back and fall in love with Ryo actually tried to come back.
That would be way too long, actually.
Yeah, it's so infrequent that we actually do have any sort of follow-up to what's happened in a given episode, because generally speaking, the show is pretty episodic. It's self-contained in these 23-25 minutes.
Well, that's certainly true for this first season, yeah.
But like this, why it sticks out so much to us is that this is one of the few cases where we're actually seeing beyond something hella plot relevant to something happening to like Kaori, Ryo, or even Umibozu and company. This is one of the few times we actually get to follow through with what's happening to a client.
Right, and we're gonna get the rest of that next episode.
Yeah, so we're actually going to see what it's like to have Fubuki as Ryo's disciple, to see whether or not she finds the other Sailor Guardians, and whether or not she drives the Kobu and saves old-timey Japan.
Two of those things are not going to happen.
Something's gonna happen.
You know another thing that did not happen? You literally, just before we started sitting down to watch this episode, went to the corner store and bought a bag of peanut M&Ms because City Hunter episodes have been advertised advertising peanut M&Ms this whole time. Their advertising more than 30 years later worked, and there were no peanut M&M advertisements in this episode.
Yeah, and for some reason I thought to myself, oh, surely I think there's a product placement moment in this episode, and there never was.
Feel kind of ripped off. You wasted your money.
Look, if I don't eat them right now, we'll save them for part 2.
No, we should eat them right now.
Okay.
Anyway, come back next time when we cover the 38th episode of the TV series, Shinjuku Honor All the Way, The Kimono Beauty Wants to Be My Student, Part 2!
And if you want to catch us outside this podcast, you can always find us both over on Twitter. I'm at Josh Knight First.
And I'm at Mars Girl. Thank you all so much for listening to our 37th episode of MokkoriPlay. And if you don't come back next episode, I'm gonna send Josh to the bottom of the sea wearing concrete shoes.
But I don't swim good.
Well, that's what the concrete's for.